Hi everyone, good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today for our lunchtime session on micro-credentials at the University of Galway's Centre for Adult Learning and Professional Development. My name is Emma Goode. I am the MicroCreds Project Lead at the University, and I am joined today by a selection of University of Galway academics who have designed and delivered micro-credentials in subject areas as diverse as green hydrogen, health promotion, including mental health promotion, promoting health in the workplace, promoting healthy behaviours and promoting youth health in educational settings, and regulatory compliance and product development, validation and authorisation. This session is being held as a Zoom webinar, so if you have any questions on micro-credentials or if you have any questions for any of the panellists, please submit them via the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Some of my colleagues are moderating the Q&A, and at the end of the panel discussion, we will respond to any questions that come through to us. Now, many of you are aware of what micro-credentials are, but for those who are new to the concept, I'm going to give a brief overview of what they are and the beneficial differences between them and previously available short courses, the generous fee subsidies available for micro-credentials, and I'll also explain what the recognition of prior learning is and how it can be leveraged on your educational journey. Our panellists will give information on their specific topics, as well as talking more generally on how micro-credentials differ from traditional methods of education, what is expected of learners from an academic perspective, how much work is required for a micro-credential, how students are assessed on the learning, and so on. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you, so there's no need to worry about taking notes or screenshots. You can focus fully on the information as it is being delivered. Now, today's panellists from University of Galway are Dr. Rory Monaghan, who delivers a micro-credential in green hydrogen, Dr. Aoife Howard, who will discuss a range of health promotion micro-credentials, and Dr. Aidan Toner, who delivers micro-credentials on product development, validation and authorisation in semester 2, and is currently delivering a micro-credential on regulatory compliance. Now, before we get to the panel discussion, I'm going to very quickly go through what micro-credentials are. Essentially, they are short accredited courses. What accredited means is that on completion of the course, the learner receives a formal university record of their learning. These learning outcomes have been assessed against transparent and clearly defined standards on a national level. It's a means of providing learning opportunities, offering a highly flexible, bite-sized and accessible way of upskilling and reskilling. Now, while micro-credentials are standalone units of learning, they are designed to be stackable and can be combined with other micro-credentials where recognised pathways have been formed to achieve larger qualifications such as certificates, diplomas or masters. At their essence, they provide the learner with specific knowledge, skills and competencies that respond to societal, personal or labour market needs. Micro-credentials are designed to meet the identified demands of learners, enterprise and industry sectors and are built upon University of Galway's areas of expertise. Having a micro-credential demonstrates that you have studied a university-level course and completed it to this standard, and each micro-credential will give you skills and knowledge directly related to the work environment and can assist in your career development. Now, we have an extensive variety of short, flexible micro-credentials available for semester 2, targeted in key areas such as sustainability, business and management, science and technology, health promotion, languages and AI. And for those seeking something unique, courses are also available in areas such as beekeeping, gemstones, scientific arts and so much more. Now, the government, through the HEA, has provided a substantial fee subsidy to support adult learners returning to or beginning in higher education of 80% for courses in key priority areas such as renewable energy, sustainability, construction and planning, AI, cybersecurity, ICT and electronic engineering, and a 50% subsidy is available for other courses. What this means in practice is that instead of costing 1,850 our micro-credential in modern methods of construction, which has an 80% subsidy, costs €370. When the 80% subsidy is applied to green hydrogen, this micro-credential costs the learner €310 instead of 1,550. And over 50 of the University of Galway micro-credentials are covered by this subsidy. To avail of the subsidy, you must apply for the micro-credential first, and once your application is received and accepted, you will be sent the relevant application forms and information on the subsidy. And this subsidy is covered by the government for this academic year, 2024-25, and is available on a first-come, first-served basis. So it's important to get your application in as soon as you have your decision made. Now, if you have a question relating to the fee subsidy, please put it into the Q&A and we will answer it at the end. Now, recognition of prior learning, or RPL, is a process by which your previous learning is formally valued by University of Galway. Through the RPL process, your prior learning is identified, assessed and recognised by the university in relation to the courses that it offers. Prior learning may have been acquired through previous formal courses, work experiences or training, and it can be used to entry into a course where learners do not meet the standard entry criteria, advanced entry into a course, or an exemption from one or more modules on the course. Now, my colleague Suzanne Golden, whose contact details are on this slide, will be able to assist with any query that you may have in relation to RPL. Now, I think you've heard more than enough from me, but if you do have any questions, please put them into the Q&A. My academic colleagues cannot wait to begin telling you about the micro-credentials that they deliver. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and go straight over to my colleagues. Okay. So Rory, if I can start with you, can you give a brief introduction to the micro-credential that you lecture on, green hydrogen technology design and analysis, and why this is an area that would attract learners?
Great. Thank you very much, Emma. I'm delighted to be here to talk about this micro-credential. This is a new course, and so we're really eager to get going on it in January. I guess just a bit of background on why someone would want to study this technology. In the whole movement towards renewable energy, decarbonisation, and increasing our energy independence in Ireland, green hydrogen is seen as a way of storing large amounts of renewable energy. And it's seen as a way that we can maybe get the fossil fuels out of areas that are really hard to electrify with batteries. So what we do with our green hydrogen course in Galway is we introduce the background, the context, why we need or why we believe we need green hydrogen technology. And then we are focused mostly on the engineering side. So we do advise that people who take this micro-credential have an undergraduate background in engineering. We go through the technologies. We go through how a green hydrogen system could be designed. And then we have an assignment that runs over the course of the year where you would be using a Microsoft Excel-based design tool for green hydrogen systems that we've developed here in the university as part of our research group's work with industry. We'll be using that tool so that users can either design a set hydrogen system that they would be tasked with, or if they've got interests, they can develop their own hydrogen system, design it to meet some sort of demand, and cost it out and basically see what the impact of using this technology is on greenhouse gas emissions, on energy security. So we also cover quite a bit on the policy side, because this is a really rapidly evolving area of energy technology, and so it's sort of governed by lots of European and international policies. So we'll cover that, and then we talk a little bit about what the state of the art is, where are projects now, where is hydrogen actually being built, and we try and give that whole sort of holistic view, from the engineering to the policy to the economics to the projects.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Rory. And if somebody were to take this micro-credential on, what sort of avenues into, like what areas would they be able to get jobs in essentially, or what jobs would they be currently working in looking to upskill?
Yes, that's a great question. And this is really the whole motivator for this program, is that we were finding ourselves inundated in the university here with requests for expertise on green hydrogen technologies, especially on the kind of the design and the economic side. So the kinds of sectors that people could expect to go into would be those that you'd maybe imagine: the energy sector, the power generation sector. So we work very closely with ESB on knowledge transfer to their hydrogen team. We're working with EirGrid as well. So basically, all of the big energy utility companies are looking for expertise in this area. We also work with the public transport system operators because hydrogen is a potential fuel for their fleets. So energy sector would be the primary one. Large transportation companies. And then also we have a large and growing sector in Ireland of energy consultancy companies. So these would be companies that go into large users of energy like dairies and factories at different types of industries, and will be tasked with getting rid of fossil fuels, increasing energy efficiency, decreasing costs. And someone going into an energy consultancy job with an expertise in green hydrogen would definitely be setting themselves apart.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Rory. And it certainly is one of those areas where there is just so much growth, you know, at the moment. That's fantastic. It would be great to be a first mover in this area. Aoife, you have come in here today with a full house of micro-credentials and health promotion. Can you really quickly just run through what they are and why somebody might want to upskill in these areas?
Absolutely. Thank you, Emma. And it's lovely to be here. Okay, so I think first of all, I think it might be useful just to define what health promotion is. And I think if we just start with a very simple definition of it, health promotion is about working with organizations, communities, and government departments to promote population health. It's about enabling people to increase control and to improve their health. Okay, so these particular health promotion micro-credentials all focus on a particular aspect of health promotion. The first one is promoting health in the workplace. So that's the setting. The workplace is the setting. And the second one is promoting youth health in educational settings. And the next one is mental health promotion, which is a very, very popular. We've had a good few applications for that micro-credential already. And then we have promoting healthy behaviors. And so I might just give a little very, very brief overview of each one of those. Just a second. So, yeah, I guess the promoting health in the workplace is led by Professor Margaret Hodgins. And just to give a very quick sense of what that's about, this micro-credential is based upon the World Health Organization's healthy workplace model. It kind of focuses on many topics, but just to mention a few, it looks at work and health, the physical work environment, the psychosocial work environment, and personal health resources. And that particular micro-credential explores case studies, theoretical background of concepts, practical activities, and focuses on research evidence for interventions. So that's what promoting health in the workplace involves. The next one is promoting youth health in the educational settings. And this is my own one, and I'm very passionate about this one. This micro-credential explores the application of the settings approach to health promotion. And what we mean by the settings approach is the setting where they are based. So that would be the school environment. And so the settings approach to health promotion for young people in educational settings from preschool right up to third level education. So we have expert guest lecturers coming in on this various based on these various supportive environments from preschool up to third level education. And some of the topics that we're going to be learning about include an introduction to early prevention school-based mental health programs, the challenges and opportunities in leading school culture, evidence around managing school transitions from primary to secondary school, and digital mental health interventions for university level students. So this is a real whistle-stop tour of all of the micro-credentials that we're doing. And then the third one is mental health promotion. And this, again, is led by myself. This course in particular addresses, the promotion of positive mental health, sexual health, and the prevention of substance misuse. So we look at the implementation of mental health promotion strategies across the life course in key settings, such as the home and schools again, workplace, community, primary care, and mental health services. Okay, so the final one that we have is promoting healthy behaviors. And this is our fourth micro-credential. And this introduces students, just going to move this along here, introduces students to the relationship between behaviors and health with a particular focus on areas of nutrition, physical activity, smoking, sexual health, and substance misuse. So students will examine the evidence-based practice and policy for issues relevant to individual behaviours. So that's the four micro-credentials that we have on offer, and they are starting in January. We're excited about them. It's the first time we've ever been offering micro-credentials, and a lot of work has gone into developing them. But there was a question there that's come in, and I might just answer it quickly. It's in relation to when this course is actually on. It's not. The question was about, was it delivered in the evening time? And it's not. It's actually delivered over 4 days in semester 2. one day, the first day starts on campus, and then it alternates online, on campus, online. So there's just 2 physical days where you do need to be on campus and 2 days where you need to be online. And the day generally runs from 10 o'clock to 4. So it's quite manageable. It's for people who are already working, and it's flexible and blended learning. So there's an option to I suppose it's just very flexible to come in and do either an online or an on-campus teaching day. So okay, I'll pass that back to you, Emma.
Thanks, Eva. I'm just wondering, do you know what day of the week that would be? Because I know some of these people will be working. Do you know if it's going to be a weekday or would it be on a Saturday?
It's a weekday, and they're typically on Tuesdays. Some of them are delivered on Wednesdays, but we can, that's I can certainly send out timetables if people are interested and they'd like to see a kind of a sample timetable. I can certainly give that, but it is delivered during the week, and a full day. But like I say, there's just 2 full days over that term that you have to be on campus, and there's 2 days where you have to be online. So I think it's as flexible as it gets in terms of, we typically deliver them actually a couple of, those lectures would be delivered, over 2 days in the week. So we've kind of condensed it down to just 1 full day of learning on campus and online.
Interesting point that you've made, because I think a lot of our courses are typically delivered online of an evening, maybe a couple of hours of an evening per week. So, but not all. You guys have taken a different model, so it just goes to show how well all of this is, depending on what the course is and who the attendees are. Lovely stuff. So, Aidan, I'm going to move over to you. You teach product development, validation, and authorization. Can you very briefly give an overview of what is covered and how applicable is what you teach to the workplace?
Yeah, certainly. So this module really came around through going out to the market and seeing where there were certain gaps that employers were finding particularly in the manufacturing area. So what we found was that there are some common gaps there, particularly around, say, the practices of validation. So it's just really bringing any of the workers that are currently out there working in manufacturing, but also those that want to enter the workforce, to get them up to a certain level where there is an understanding of validation. Doesn't go too heavy on it, because we also deal with things like, building our concepts around bringing a product to market, developing those concepts, and then finally launch and what comes after the launch as well. And really, it can be very useful in this module that you kind of get a sense of the whole business, because very often you might be working in one area, you might have aspirations to move to another area of your company, but you don't get that kind of broader look at the company. So this really gives you a good introduction to the practices beyond your own role. And perhaps you may be more validation oriented when you take on this module, but you might find that the other areas of it interest you, and you might decide to move into those areas later in your career, perhaps, or just as a good means to communicate with the other departments. So there is it's a mini project. I don't want to panic people too much about this. It is a 5 ECT module. So with that, it won't be very heavy on the project, but you are required to do some work yourself. And that can involve going out perhaps to your own company or something within your own sector, work on that project. You'll have a mentor at your company, and also an academic mentor if you require it as well, just to make sure that you're steered on track with the delivery of your report at the end of that. So it's a very useful module, I suppose. It is retrofitted from an earlier module that we delivered. A few things have been taken out to make it more focused around industry, and it's also it's also dealt with in a very flexible manner as well. So in terms of say the time that you would want to allocate with this every week, it differs. I suppose there'll be periods where you'll be busier to perform some of the assessments, and then as you move on to the project, then it'll be all off your own bat. So however much time you can defer to this through the week. Obviously, I'm here as well if anybody wants to talk. It's, can be daunting, particularly if you're entering back into the academic environment. But certainly, the whole idea around these micro-credentials, which I think has been told so far in this meeting, is that it's very flexible and built around you. So it's, to get you that formal qualification that you deserve in an academic setting, and the flexibility is there. All of us that deliver these modules, we all live in the real world. We know what the stresses and strains of everyday life is, and things that are required that are perhaps seem, more important outside of the classroom. We get that. So it's just a matter of, keeping those communication lines open. Everybody that I've met that works with the micro-credentials has been very approachable and just normal people. So, we are here to help you, and that's basically all I've got to say about this module. So I'll hand it back to you there.
Aidan, thank you so much. Something that you touched upon there, and I'm actually going to get Rory, if you wouldn't mind answering this question. Aidan mentioned that sometimes some of the learners might have been out of study for like a long period of time, or they may not have attended university previously. How does the delivery and design of your micro-credential take this into account? I suppose specifically people who are working full-time, who may have families and so on, and they might be nervous about, dipping their toes back into an academic setting. So how is your course designed to take that into consideration?
Yeah, so I think in common with the other programs being presented here, we've got a flexible delivery. So we have got some of our material will be released weekly in recorded online form, and then we will also have some of our material delivered online in real time. And that will be, we are scheduling that now, similar to what Aoife said. We are putting this in the evening time. It's looking like it's going to be Wednesday for hours, Wednesday at about 5 o'clock. So we're trying to get that sort of that time where people might have a bit of space to work out. I get just in terms of people being nervous about coming back to university, we are very aware of that, and I guess that's why we're not going to be tying people up with fundamentals of chemistry or thermodynamics or things like that. We're really focusing on what are the skills that people are going to need to get ahead in the workplace, to make themselves an expert in something that we believe is a growing area. So it's very much applied. There's a focus, as I said, on policies. There's a focus on economics and financial analysis. So these are hopefully tools that people are going to be able to get real benefit from in the workplace. So we hope that it's not, certainly our description there, we hope it's not scaring people away, that they're going to be stuck in with the hard fundamental stuff. That's not what we're going to be doing.
Lovely, thank you very much. And Aoife, what do your students expect to get out of micro-credential in health promotion, say, of any of the four that you've discussed there? And do prospective students have to have a background in this area already?
Thank you, Emma. So that's a very good question. I think a lot of the applications, even so far, we've had some students come in with just a level 8 degree in a completely different background, and they want to change, upskill, or learn something new in health promotion or take a different career direction. So that's an interesting thing that we've noticed in some of the applicants that have come forward. It is required that you have a level 8 degree, but if you don't, there is this option of the recognition of prior learning that you have briefly mentioned yourself earlier on there, Emma. And I think with regards to students, what they want to get out of this, we did a kind of a stakeholder analysis before we designed these courses, and we met with key health promotion people in the field in Ireland, internationally, lots of people working in various organizations, voluntary, government organizations. And they said to us, there is a need for people to come back in, even with they might have a health promotion qualification or a nursing qualification or an allied health qualification, and they have this need to come back in, upskill quickly on a particular topic, and then go back into the workplace with those skills. So there is a need to upskill and a demand for reskilling, if you like, in the field. But I will say that anyone that does this micro-credentials are going to get a real sense of it. And, you know, that question of health promotion, that question that Rory just answered there, we know people are coming back, having not been in education for a while. And we do have a pre-learning day. We're designing that at the moment, where we bring the students in for a fairly good day before they start their course. And we're going to give them a background in health promotion, all those key terms, introducing them to the key concepts and some of the key papers, things that they just want to have sort of a knowledge on before they start the course, that will sort of, I suppose, increase their learning and make it a more enjoyable experience. And indeed, to meet all the students will be lovely too. But we will be providing sort of like an information pack and some readings and required readings for them. But in terms of who goes, what kind of career options there are for people, there's a number of career opportunities. Some people, they go on and they work in voluntary organizations like Jigsaw, they work in mental health promotion. My particular micro-credential in promoting youth health in educational settings, a lot of teachers would be interested in taking that. It's a short course that, you know, they learn key skills that they can bring back into the classroom in all levels. And then some people are just interested, like I say, in just a change of career. They want to go and do 10 ECTS in health promotion and take it from there. There's a number of postgraduate certs that you can do in health promotion, and you can do, of course, the MA in health promotion. So that's kind of the general sense of where we're at. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aoife. And Aidan, you kind of touched on this as well, and we've spoken about returning to university can be like quite daunting for some people. And I know you're teaching on a 5 credit module. How many, like, obviously people need to know, how much time do I need to give to this? Because there might be an hour or 2 hours per week of contact time, but then there must, outside of that, be reading and your self-directed learning. So roughly how much time do you think is actually involved in, say, a 5 credit module and then a 10 credit module?
Yeah, so I think an additional hour or 2 hours, like I said, it'll depend on, you know, what we're throwing at you week on week. It won't be it's the type of delivery as well. I should have mentioned about the delivery, that it is going to be combined, so it'll be online, but also you can attend the lecture as well, and it'll be recorded. So obviously anything that's covered in class you can then download afterwards. But you know, yeah, anything from 2 to 3 hours a week in addition to your contact time. But it may differ. You may find that you have less time to cover in certain weeks. And like I said, it is flexible as well. Deadlines are not absolute. So if you're finding that you're struggling, or there is a date coming up where you have something on, be it communions, weddings, and everything in between, then obviously we can make some time around that as well. So just to give you a bit of time to finish off, it's perhaps something that you need time to finish. So
fantastic. Yeah. And Rory, I have one more question for you. I suppose the difference between a short course that a learner could take and a micro-credential is that micro-credentials have to be assessed, and that's what sets them apart, I suppose, from just attending a short course.
Yeah.
So the assessment then, is yours continuous assessment, or is it assignment or essays or projects, or a mix of everything, or how do you do it for green hydrogen?
For our class, it's an individual project. So students will be introduced to the project in the first week, and you would essentially be tasked with developing a simulation model of how a green hydrogen plant could work, and how much it would cost, and how much greenhouse gases it would offset. And you will be introduced to first of all, to the concepts that the tool is working with. It's all going to be, it's pre-made. People don't have to make this tool themselves, but they just need to learn how to use it, and they need to learn to interpret what it's telling them. That will be covered in the class. And then there will be various sort of waypoints that we reach throughout the project. So people will need to have a sort of a statement of what their objectives would be for the project. That will be partway through the course. Then we'll need to have there'll be an interim presentation. Then there will be a final written report and a presentation. And all of this will be, you know, happening online. all of this will be, all of the submissions will be submitted online as well. So it's a, but it's a single coherent project the whole way through, but people would be guided to when they need to have certain parts of the project submitted to us. So it's not just introduce the project in week 1. We're going to be expecting something really big in week 12. People will be guided towards what they need to do.
Fantastic. And there's no sort of scary end of a micro-credential exam.
No, there's no exam. The only exam I guess will be me as the teacher, where I'm going to be asking for your feedback. So that's it. So I'll hold my breath for that.
Thank you so much, Rory, and thank you both Aoife and Aidan as well, and to everybody who has attended online. Thank you so much. I hope it's been of some benefit to you. I'd also want to thank my colleagues Tricia, Mary and Valerie, who've been working in the background, getting back to you, everyone with some Q&As. I don't know if there are any outstanding ones. I think they've all been answered actually. So thanks everyone, and I appreciate the fact that people have given up their lunch hour for this. So I'm going to leave you here, and do please consider doing a micro-credential at University of Galway, either one that's been discussed here or some of the others. You can see all of our offerings online. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.